Hi traders, this is Andrew and I want to show you an example of what they call patterns within patterns. And again, we're having a look, we're starting on the higher time frames first. So we have a daily chart up, and what you want to do is you want to just have a look at the larger swing, so from the very high down to the very low. You can see price is trading around the 70.7 retracement. We also, if we take our horizontal line, just drop that down, we have an area, you can see this level right in here, acting as key support and resistance. Support, resistance, breaks through, holds a support briefly, back to resistance, then back to resistance. So we've got a key level that we've identified. If we also drop this down to this last swing right here, you can see from this move down from the high to the low, we've retraced to the 50% and then started to retrace from there and then rallied up to the 886. So if you remember what the bat pattern looks like, you can see we actually have a bearish bat pattern. So we just trace this in. We've had a nice drop, so this is the XA swing down. We've then rallied up to the 50 retracement, then retraced to a minimum of a 38% fib level, and then we've rallied up to that key area right there, so 886.1618. and we also have, just have a look at adding that larger Fibonacci swing, 70.7 retracement. So a lot of factors in our favor. Now, in order to trade this bat pattern, your stop loss, we need to go above the high. And on a daily chart, you can see that it would be over 100 pips worth of risk. So quite a large stop. So what we want to do is we want to look for a potential pattern at this level on the smaller time frame. So if we now move to an hourly chart, so now compress this up, you can see what we have is a potential head and shoulders pattern setting up. You can see this area here, the left shoulder, the head right into that key level, then we've come off, and now we can look at a possible right shoulder setting up. So if we just take this line down, mark this left equals to potential right. Now I'm just going to move this eclipse slightly. So what we have now is a possible head and shoulders pattern setting up inside that daily bearish bat pattern. So we just trace this out. You can see this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is that completion area for the actual bat pattern on the daily chart. We've driven low, and now we're looking for the right shoulder to form. So we're looking to place a sell limit order up here, and we just put our fibs from the high down to the low, just see if you've got anything lining up. Haven't quite got any Fibonacci retracements there, but be looking up at that left equals right as usual with a stop above the high. So you can see, so instead of having a stop loss of over 100 pips, we have a stop of around 40, let's call it 40 pips, and a target down towards the lows. So let's follow price along. You want to get our order in before price gets there. Sell limit at 64.30, let's call it 34, and I'll put a 40 pip stop. Actually, let's make it 45. I just want to put the order just a few pips below that actual area, and the target I'm going to go down towards a sort of 62.45 area. 45, and place it. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we've just been filled on that left equals to right shoulder. If we just have a quick look at what this looks like on the 4-hour chart, so there's the head and shoulders pattern. See how price hits that level, drops down, takes out the lows. And if we have a look at that daily, a little bit on the messy side, but you can see this is the bearish bat pattern here, found at higher time frame key resistance. And if we just go back to the hourly chart, right at that completion area we have a head and shoulders forming on the hourly. You can see we've been filled on that, currently up about 50 pips. So looking for a surge lower now, and you can see we've been filled. So just have a look at that. We've been taken out for 189 pips with a risk of 45 pips on that trade. So that's what we call a pattern within a pattern, a daily bearish bat pattern at key resistance on the daily chart, and we had a hourly head and shoulders pattern. We were able to reduce the risk on the trade and look for a good profit potential. I hope you found that helpful.